Is Julia Trubkina abandoning her dreams of motherhood? The 90-Day Fiancé star has recently faced a heartbreaking loss that could change everything about her future with Brandon Gibbs. From a whirlwind romance to ongoing family drama, and now, grief. Let's unravel what's really going on. Julia has recently agreed to consult with a doctor about her ongoing fertility concerns, a step forward in a journey she and Brandon have openly discussed. In a show of support, Brandon also offered to help bring Julia's parents from Russia to the U.S., a gesture that highlights their continued commitment to building a life together. Season 2 of 90 Day The Last Resort, filmed in 2024, captured some of their emotional milestones. However, since then, the couple has remained quiet about any concrete plans to start a family. It seems that those plans may have been placed on hold, partly due to the heartbreaking loss of their beloved dog, Simba, who they lovingly referred to as their child. In April 2025, Julia revealed that Simba's health had taken a sharp decline. He was losing the ability to walk and had stopped eating. After a vet advised that Simba might not survive another surgery and recommended euthanasia, Julia and Brandon chose to stay hopeful, continuing to care for him around the clock. Sadly, in early May 2025, Julia announced that Simba had passed away after a prolonged battle with illness. In a heartfelt tribute on Instagram, she shared, "He was with me from the very beginning of my journey in America." Simba's passing marked the end of a deeply personal chapter in their lives, one that may explain the couple's pause in expanding their family. Julia is experiencing unimaginable pain. With those words, Julia expressed the depth of her heartbreak as she continues to mourn the loss of her beloved dog, Simba. Since his passing, Julia has stepped back from social media, sharing less with fans as she navigates this difficult chapter. Still, she's slowly beginning to channel her energy back into her business, taking small steps forward while carrying a heavy heart. Simba wasn't just a pet, he was family. Julia saw him as her child, and losing him has left her in a deeply vulnerable emotional state. She confessed that Simba took a piece of her heart with him, and she doesn't believe the pain will ever truly go away. Replacing him is not something she's even considering. When Julia recently shared photos of her other dog, Nala, a fan gently suggested that she adopt another dog to help ease the pain. But Julia respectfully declined, saying, quote, "I have a Nala, and I don't think the idea of another dog is right for me." Instead, she's focusing her love and care on helping dogs in need, volunteering her time to train shelter dogs and give them a better chance at finding homes. While her decision to fully grieve Simba rather than move on quickly is a healthy and personal choice, it may also be contributing to the delay in her and Brandon's plans to start a family. For now, Julia is taking life one day at a time, honoring Simba's memory, healing at her own pace, and rediscovering her purpose through helping others. Julia knows the emotional burden of parenthood like never before. Julia didn't just lose a pet. She lost a lifelong companion who had been by her side through some of the most defining moments of her life. Simba was more than a dog to her. He was a source of comfort, unconditional love, and emotional stability. His passing has left a void that words can hardly describe. Through this loss, Julia has come to understand the profound responsibility that comes with caring for another life. The grief she's experiencing has opened her eyes to the emotional weight of parenthood. It's made her reconsider the idea of having a child with Brandon, not because she doesn't want to build a family, but because she now understands, on a much deeper level, the heartbreak and fear that can come with love that deep. Julia has always loved Brandon and her family, but it was through Simba that she first truly grasped what unconditional love feels like. After moving to the United States, he became her emotional anchor. Her Instagram is a tribute to that bond, filled with photos of Simba and her other dog, Nala. Even her business is centered around caring for pets, a reflection of how deeply animals have shaped her life. In the wake of Simba's death, Julia may now see what so many mothers know all too well: the worry never ends. The anxiety she felt during Simba's illness and the overwhelming sorrow that followed his passing brought her face to face with a mother's burden, the constant fear of losing someone who depends on you completely. For Julia, this chapter is more than just mourning a loss. It's a time of reflection on love, responsibility, and the emotional cost of giving your heart fully to someone, whether it's a child or a four-legged companion. Julia craves a little rest. Julia appears to have pressed pause on her journey toward motherhood following the heartbreaking loss of her beloved dog. The grief has taken a deep emotional toll, and for now, her focus seems to be on her husband, Brandon, and rebuilding her energy through her business. In a recent Instagram post, Julia shared a rare glimpse into her vulnerable side, accompanied by a few candid photos. I allow myself to stop being strong, to be depressed if I need it now, to cry if necessary, she wrote. Her words reflect someone who is no longer trying to hold everything together, but instead giving herself permission to feel and to heal. She admitted she's exhausted from constantly thinking about the future and simply wants to take a little rest. While this doesn't mean Julia has let go of her dream of becoming a mother, it's clear that starting a family is not her immediate priority. Even though Brandon has expressed a desire to have children soon, Julia is taking a step back to care for her emotional well-being before moving into the next phase of life. Rather than rushing forward or masking her pain, Julia is embracing the reality of her grief and choosing to move at her own pace. As a 90-day fiancé happily ever after cast member, her journey continues to resonate with fans, not because of perfection, but because of her honesty, her heart, and her courage to sit with the pain before chasing the next dream.